Hi there, it's Dawn here at Smallholding in Wales. Yeah, looking a bit hot and flustered. Oh, it's so humid. I'm just dripping sweat. You really didn't want to know that. And as you can see, I've got big black clouds behind me. It seems we've got a storm coming in. The tail end of the hurricane that was in America. And I believe it's tomorrow it's supposed to be hitting us, but I'm sort of having a bit of a race against myself today. Let me turn your camera around and show you what I've been up to. I don't know if you remember, but this bit I had covered in all this black landscape fabric. I'm pulling up the fabric. I want Martin to go over it with the cultivator, hitch it up to the tractor, hitch the cultivator up to the tractor when he gets back in, and just run over this bit. And of course around the other side there's this bit that was covered in fabric, landscape fabric, and this bit was meant to get covered but never has been. So when that piece over there gets taken up, I'm wanting to stick it down here. But in the meantime, I'm cutting down all of this growth with me little petrol scythe, which has been absolutely fantastic. It's been a godsend to me, and as you can see, I have got nettles almost as tall as me, so I'm cutting them down. I'm just going to cover it all with the landscape fabric once it's cut down. Probably won't be for a couple of days though, because the way the weather's coming in, I don't think it's going to get done tomorrow. But anyway, it will all just rot into the ground under the landscape fabric, and it will stay like that until spring next year, which was the plan last year, but of course time ran away with us and we never got it done. So all of this here, as I'm going to cut it, I'm going to rake it up and it's all going to get thrown over here, just to drop down, and I want to try and get that edge there cut back as well. So yeah, right, I'm going to crack on with that, and I'm not taking down the Jerusalem artichokes along the edge. I'm leaving those, but I'm cutting up as close to them as I can. Right, I'm going to crack on and get this job finished. Right, I finished cutting this side of the field and got the membrane moved over. I found another roll of membrane so I can get that bit there covered and this piece here covered. So, right, Martin is now on the tractor and turning over this soil for me, and the soil is looking very, very good. We did have pigs here not last year, year before, and that with the weeds having broken down to the soil as well, and it's been kept covered and weed free, it's going to be an excellent place to grow. And I'm hoping to get a few late crops in this area because the weather's been so bad and everything is behind, so I thought I'd give it a go. So yeah, looking forward to getting that started. Right, it's another cold, wet, miserable day as we get the tail end of the hurricane from America. I can't remember what it was called. So the log burners are light. As you can see, the dogs are all starting to settle down. And I'm just starting to do dinner. Well, I actually started it yesterday, but yeah, I'm starting dinner, which tonight we are having curried goat with some of our own home produced goat. This goat meat has been marinating in all the spices, etc. overnight. in to brown it off in the Instant Pot. And once all that is seared, then I shall throw everything else in and get it cooking. We've got some potatoes and carrots left over from yesterday's dinner, so they're going in. I'm also chucking in the courgette. Now the recipe called for a Scotch bonnet, which I don't have. But we've got a couple of little chillies ready, so I've got those, and all I've done is slice them down the middle, keeping them intact, and popping them in a little bag with some thyme. Then I can tie that up, because you're supposed to remove the thyme sprigs and the chilli before serving. So I shall tie that up, and that will go in with it as well. Instead of water, I'm using some chicken stock, which is left over from the other night. So there we go. That will do. Whoops, the camera's steaming up. Tonight's dinner, curried goat. Once I've got it all browned, I add the chillies and thyme. I'll add the stock, and then I will cook it for about 40 minutes, I think, in the Instant Pot. And then once the pressure is released, I will add the potatoes and carrots and the courgettes, because none of them take long. And I've also pulled out some corn on the cobs from the freezer, so they're going to go in as well. Okay. I'll catch up with you at the end. Right, I'm just prepping a few trays to go into the freeze dryer. I've already got in the freezer 2 trays of double cream that I had pre-frozen, and that's being cut up, and it's back in the freezer on its trays, waiting until tomorrow. And I've got a tray of soured cream in the freezer and 2 trays of buttermilk. Now this is peach and passion fruit yoghurt, which it was bought in for Martin. It's one of his favourites, it's what he likes, but it's only got 2 days life really left on it. A few days, perhaps about a week at most. And I've got a few of these big tubs, and he's got another big tub there in the fridge that he's not going to finish in time. So I thought I would freeze dry these as well and make up some smoothie mixes. That's my plan. So I've got a peach and a passion fruit, and there's a vanilla. He's got a strawberry in the fridge that he's working his way through. And I've got another 2 trays in the freezer which have got buttermilk on. So I pulled out all the buttermilk I had stored in the freezer, crushed it all down and filled a couple of trays. So all of this is was taking up freezer space, and usually any leftover yogurt actually I end up sticking in the freezer and it goes in smoothies. But I want to reduce our freezers down. We've got 3.5 chest freezers in there, and we've got another half freezer in here. And moving forward with our plans, I don't want to be moving with that many freezers. So trying to get some freezer space cleared. Right, so they're going to go in the freezer. Once they're in the freezer, tomorrow I shall pull all the trays out and get them into the freeze dryer, and then everything can be powdered down. Right, all the trays are frozen and ready to go into the freeze dryer. My trays I have numbered, and if you can see the numbers there, I've numbered them with a permanent marker. Then I can keep a list of what is on each tray. So these are the 2 yogurts. These 2 are buttercream, which has come out of the freezer. And these are double cream and sour cream. So these 5 were already in the freezer, in their frozen state, and these 2 come out the fridge. So I've now got this extra space in the freezer, and that's what I'm trying to do, is create extra space and hopefully get rid of one of the chest freezers. So I'm going to get these into the freeze dryer now. It's gone through its cool down mode, and I'll show you once it's done. I don't know how long it's going to take. It could take 24, 48 hours, whatever, to freeze dry completely. Right, just to show you, I'm milking out Bunty each morning. That is 800ml, which is just short of 1.5 pints, just short of 30 fluid ounces. I'm not milking her out completely because she is still feeding her triplets, although they're separated from her at night and they're eating. I mean, what are they now? April, May, June, July. They're 3 months old, coming up to 4 months, and they could actually be taken away from her, but she likes her babies, so yeah, so I'm taking that. So she's producing that, and she's producing enough to feed the triplets, and she's only got 1 teat working. The other teat has never worked. There's a blocked nipple there, and it's just never, they've just never managed to get it cleared. So she's a really good milker, and this milk now, it's going into bags, and I'm freezing it flat, and we take what we want, but then the rest of it will be going in the freezer, and the plan is I will freeze dry it and turn it into powdered goat's milk. There we go, that's done. That's 2 bags of 1.5, 3/4 of a pint, so that's 1.5 pints in total. I'm doing them like that because I know my freeze dryer trays will hold 1.5 pints per tray, like that. And so if I freeze them flat like that, I know they're going to fit in my trays fine. Come on, Packers. Who's missing? Come on, you at the back. Go on, Odd Job. Good boy. In we go. Go on, go with the girls. Now look here, Packers, there's a hedge at the back that needs a bit of trimming. Do you think you could go and do it? Yeah? Yeah, big bird of prey. Where's it gone? Into the trees. Right, let's make up some new goat wormer. Half a cup oregano. It's roughly half a cup that was left in that jar. Thyme. Oh, pumpkin seeds. It's all approximate. Half a cup of sage. No, half a cup of fennel seeds. Half a cup of hyssop. Half a cup of wormwood. Which has been grown down the garden and dried. And half a cup of red clover flowers, which have come from down the field as well. Crumble them up. Half a cup of dried garlic. Mix it all together. Breaking up any clover flowers as I go. It's the time of year to start collecting some more. We've got lemon dried. That's it all mixed up. I could powder it down, but I'm not going to. And then it's just 1 tablespoon per goat, mixed in with their feed, and I give it for the first 5 days of add it for 5 days into their feed. I sort of usually try and do it the first 5 days of the month if I remember, but sometimes it's a little bit later. And since doing this, we haven't used any commercial wormers, and when any goats have gone for slaughter for meat and we've had them checked over, there's no run burdens. So there we go. Right, there was about a dozen, maybe 10, a dozen onions that had showing signs of going to seed. So I've pulled them, peeled them, cut them in half, and I've taken out the piffy bit, which was the flower stem. So the rest of it now, I've just had a bit of a wash, and there's some nice size ones there. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So they're going to get chopped up and they will go in the freezer. And the others I shall get harvested probably tomorrow morning, and start setting them to dry. Right, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to hit the notifications and subscribes, and I'd love it if you could leave some comments. My week is winding up here now, as I'm doing a bit of spinning. I'm actually plying Nadiado ply it's called, or something like that, and I'm just plying it straight off the bobbin onto a new bobbin, so I can get my spindle bobbins empty, ready to go again. Next stop, we'll be doing some alpaca yarn, as we've just had them sheared. But like I said, thank you very much for watching, and take care everybody, and I'll catch up again with you soon.